Subscribe, hit that bell icon, and share this clip if you enjoy it. This is TRS Clips. You tell me, because you're so into filmmaking in general, what are some time travel movies that have stayed with you?
It has to start with Back to the Future. Okay. You have to, and every person has to watch Back to the Future because it's such a brilliant movie. It's not overly technical. Have you watched it?
Yeah.
You've watched it?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, of course.
So for the people who have not watched it, let me just give you the premise in 2 lines. So basically, a kid from 1980s goes back in time in 1950s, and his mother falls in love with him before she meets his father. So then now there is this problem that his mother is in love with him and not with his father, so he can't be born. That sort of time travel dilemma is there. So yeah. So it's a beautiful movie.
And then if she actually falls for and doesn't fall for his dad, he will cease to exist.
Yeah. So that's another way of time travel where whatever is happening in your future is also affecting your past. So yeah, all of these are theories. All of these are theories. All right. There is one theory called grandfather paradox as well, which says that if you go back in time and if you kill your grandfather before your father is born, then who killed your grandfather if you are not born? So that sort of grandfather paradox is there.
But can I also ask you about alien-based movies which you thought was sort of realistic?
Contact, the one I spoke about. Then there is this movie called Arrival, which is not a cup of tea for everybody. But for film buffs, it's a very interesting film because it tries to solve a basic problem of communication.
Okay.
I mean, an alien being, we just assume that talking, orally is how we communicate. Verbally is how we communicate. But what if the alien species that lands over here does not like to communicate verbally? For example, dogs sniff really well. Like their sense of smell is really higher than ours. So we can't even imagine, but they don't see it that well. They see, I think they're colorblind or they see in black and white or something like that.
They see in black and white.
Yeah. So for us, visual stuff is really important. We emphasize a lot on colors, but if dogs were in charge of this planet, they would not emphasize on colors. They would emphasize on the sense of smell. So that is the stuff that it tries to address, that how we would communicate. First, they establish what is yes, what is no, and stuff like that. It's a very technical movie and it's a very interesting movie as well, but not everybody's cup of tea.
Here's an observation. I've seen that a lot of people who dislike science fiction as a concept or dislike science fiction movies are often also arrogant. Like, I feel like you need a certain level of humility to even perceive this reality. So I've heard a lot of people say that I hate science fiction because it's too far-fetched. What, this shit doesn't exist. And again, they have overcome that curve you were talking about. As in, their confidence levels are way too high compared to the amount of knowledge. But go on.
Yeah. So these two movies, aliens, right? Of course, Star Wars, but then it's more like fantasy. It's more like it's more like fantasy. Star Trek actually as a series, it has a lot of concepts. Like actually this wormhole, this concept, it somewhat stemmed from Star Wars as well. Earlier
Star Trek?
Star Trek. Yeah, Star Trek. So yeah. Top of my mind, these two movies, these are like at the top of my list. Interstellar is good, but at certain levels, Interstellar failed me. Like the whole love explanation, like love transcends everything. And it wasn't, I was not able to digest that. But Interstellar is a really good movie in a lot of aspects.
Where they were, so I read Christopher Nolan actually went into the deep mathematics of things to just explain it visually on screen. Ki kaise dikhega, kya hoga. So,
I think Kip Thorne is one of the scientists who actually worked on that film. He is an actual scientist who sort of imagined that, yes, black hole would look like this. And now as we have a picture, it is somewhat close to it. So it's a great achievement.